Hello and welcome back. This is Insti and I'm continuing playing Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. I'm sorry, I missed one day uploading these videos. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but I was a little bit busier than usual. Fortunately, yeah, and the last episode we ended up in a crash. And yeah, that was quite a bad crash because I really needed to restart all my computer. I tried that early morning, start this game and start the recording just to test of it, and the game keep crashing all together and complaining that I don't have enough video memory. Although 3060 is not probably the best graphic cards at the moment, I still think it has enough video memory for this game, but I digress. So yeah, I need to totally restart the whole computer so it started to work, and hopefully it does work now. So hopefully not more crashes. Well, I probably need to do more saves in the case of crashes. Again, fortunately, it managed to make an autosave, so I didn't really miss anything. So what we are doing now is going to return the police case. Where is it? Plan B. I see what you did there. I was viewing before I started to record the Treasure Island. I think I said in last episode that yeah, I'll do this probably, but I don't know. Honestly, after the coin collecting, I don't know if I can get anything out of this. It seems like more like a finding stuff from the map and obviously getting you to go to areas and seeing the scenery. Probably for the achievement. I don't think there's any story involved with this. Don't know if there's actually even a reward for it. I'm probably could check it. So I don't think I will do it at the moment. If everything I get from it is achievement, yeah, if I would be playing this myself, I probably would do it. I don't know. At least not for now. So first things first, let's return the case, plan B. I think I promised him to let him be and not to inform he's alive.
Sergeant Stark's back at his desk, across from the Chief Inspector's office.
Oh, okay, so we are going there now. Good, good. Are you...
Any news, Mr. Holmes?
Yeah, Placido is dead.
Chief Inspector Placido can be presumed dead. I was unable to find his body, but the evidence is unequivocal. He's gone.
I suppose I expected as much, but still it doesn't make it any easier. Placido was a good man. You would have liked him if you'd met him.
Yes, it's a pity. I'm sure I would.
In any case, no matter how bad, the truth is better than uncertainty. Please, take this as a token of gratitude. You've done us all a great service. Thanks again for your help. Good luck, Mr. Holmes.
Choice. The man deserves to be left alone.
Wardrobe items acquired, okay. A new entry. What did we... Oh. Oh, Placido could... Oh, right. I totally forgot this. Where were we? I totally forgot he was making notes. Of course, he's feeling that I'm finding stuff or not finding stuff. That's not neither here nor there. Reading, found the paper and left. Now we have plenty of spare time. Perhaps we can visit the pub. I love speedy archive search. Unless Sherlock changes tactics, we'll spend next week seeking answers. Jesus, John. You cannot trust anyone in Cordona. Not even policeman could be just a wolf in a sheep's clothing. Conduct the experiment of the effect on non sequiturs. A vampire hunt turned into a story of two grave robbers and a killer journalist. Pure pulp. I never wanted it to end. Orgo, those women already had the priest. Why such cruelty to an animal? I never... If Sherry paid a little more attention, we'd have already figured out what those people were discussing. I never doubted Sherry. Oh, thank you. First you complain and then you say you never doubted me. I don't understand what Sherlock has become. There is a look in his eye when he takes a fatal shot. It scares me. Oh, right, that was when I shot the guy dead. Yeah, like they weren't trying to kill me. Inspector Placido was very happy to have his embalmed ear back, even if he didn't show it. I wonder what he will do with it. Yeah. Placido could still do a lot of good were he to return to the police, but the man deserved rest. Sherlock respected that. So yeah, okay. What do we have? I'm not going to go through the main quest. Jacob loves his secret. Mycroft. Tales of Empty House. Soon after we left Cordona, some of our manners for... Oh, right. Do I have anything new? We have Led Zeppelin. Not Led Zeppelin. Almost similar. The Ghost Hunter waits for clients at the Silverton port. A walk through the City Hall Square has unleashed an old memory. Alright, we need to do that at some point. For the birds. I'm thinking doing the Ghost Hunter. The Ghost Hunter waits for clients at the Silverton port. I know this strange. Which one do I need to have? Basically, I'm almost certain it was somewhere over here. How about the shops? I don't see any new stuff on them. Oh, right, sorry. Why was I looking here? Because this is Silverton also. I think it was meant that he would be here. So, let us leave and see that. Again, I might at some point do the treasure hunt, maybe much later. But I'll have to see. It's not my main thing at the moment. And yeah, I need to make saves because I hate to lose progress. Okay. So let's jump right over here. And start with the ghosts. Wait a minute. Which way I'm looking at? I'm going on the wrong way. Somehow I lose my directions after jumping. Where can I get to the docks? Oh, I think I took a wrong turn again. Okay, I agree with those guys, whatever they said. Let's go and see if we can find him. Or then I need to discuss with other people, which is okay. I could do that. I need to pin this and try to talk to you.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Oh, every story has a price. You're lucky I'm telling you this for free.
Locals speak of strange inhuman howl that is terrorizing Silverton. The screech only occurs in the evening, seeming come from everywhere at once, and is especially harrowing on a foggy night. Those who live near the port say they also saw flickering lights of unearthly colors floating above the water. Some residents are so frightened that they will not leave their homes after sunset. Others even barricade their windows and doors as if that could prevent a ghost from entering.
Someone is playing on people's ignorance and fear.
Or someone is bravely going toe-to-toe with an otherworldly evil to protect the innocent. You're the hero people deserve, but he's the one they need.
So what do we have here? One question, one answer. Bravo, Shari. So, first answer, wait, okay. Right, let's change the wardrobe with jacket because it's a chilly night, after all. Okay, what do we have here? There's somebody over there. Interesting. Come on.
Not much brandy was spilled when the bottle broke. Someone had drunk most of it already.
A little bit of blood. I'm not
Not
so...
enough blood for a murder, but plenty to suggest fists were flying in a collie shangles.
Okay, I'm still a little uncertain what this is all about. And I need to find the one. Ah, this is moving a little annoying. Oh, yep, there it is.
I wonder if Luigi made it himself.
I reckon the ghost is responsible for all this mess.
Don't jump to conclusions. Until we locate any evidence to the contrary, we shall continue to exclude the supernatural. Let me concentrate, John.
Okay, so knocked down, drops of blood were soaking in the dirt. Okay, can I... Oh, right, sorry.
The ghost hunter's stand was here. Someone stormed up angrily.
Let me take it from here. It was the ghost of Cordona, a horrific being, formless, with evil eyes and glassy skin that shimmered like a nebula. It lurched towards its foe.
Okay, or maybe not. What do I need? Oh, there's...
No, John, it was human. We're staring at the evidence of a scuffle between men.
A little imagination never hurt anybody.
If a mark realizes they've been had, that the fear was baseless, the money defrauded, they will likely return to voice their displeasure.
Okay.
And thus Luigi took a beating. Fools should have at least moved locations between scams. After the attack, he fled bloodied and bruised.
Okay. So what else? We have... Luigi left a lot of traces while fleeing, so it shouldn't be hard to follow his trail, obviously. So we are doing just that. Okay. Are we going that way? Yep. What do we have here? DC and
Looks like he crawled that way.
Okay, probably through the stairs. Yes. Some blood. Well, obviously, he was bleeding after all. A little bit more blood. Vomited.
The empty bottle suggested intoxication. This vomit confirms it.
Well, if you were tailing supernatural creatures for a living, wouldn't you start drinking?
Thanks to you, I am often forced to tail the supernatural, and yet I'm still sober. Mostly.
They mostly come at night. Mostly. Supernatural, I mean. We are going under... Oh! Missing bottle. Or...
There's a
Yes.
bottle missing. After expelling all the alcohol from his stomach, it seemed he was compelled to replenish it.
Perhaps because booze eases the pain of his lonely and dangerous life as a ghost hunter.
You need to stop reading the Penny Dreadfuls.
I agree totally. Here we go. Still forward. I think yep. Something's missing. Ah, cork. Well, that didn't take too long to start drinking again. So, let us move forward. And what... Ah. Well, that was...
Through the bottle here. I think we must be near his hideout.
Maybe we just leave, Sherry. There is no need to disturb the ghost hunter from his beauty sleep.
That was fast. Drinking that whole bottle in one swig. Basically, what? 10 meters? I don't know.
Looks like an appropriate home for a ghost hunter.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Don't tell me it's fighting. Or do I find a body? No, he's still alive. We have something to collect from there, so let's take it first. Money?
Donations, one presumes.
Yes. Wait,
Handcrafted, actually rather beautiful work.
I'm trying to find out what that is.
An eerie and unsettling sound.
It's a whistle. Oh, okay, so he's using that to...
The painter definitely has an aesthetic.
making the ghostly sounds.
So this is where all the money was going. So you see, John, nothing supernatural, just a drunken lowlife fooling superstitious sailors for a living. You can't argue with the truth. The truth will out no matter what one does. You can embellish it all you like, but you're just delaying the inevitable.
Well, he can delay it no more. After what happened at the port, this scam won't work again.
So Luigi's Mansion, isn't that the game where Luigi hunts ghosts? I think it is. And what? Oh, right. Can I talk to you? No. So we are done with this. Ghost Hunter, strange inhuman howl. However, when arrived at Luigi's public... Okay, ghostbusting, Sherlock as always came up with his own undeniable, as usual, arguments that the brawl was caused by irritable local who believed that Luigi was a fraud. We followed the traces of chaos and the strong reek of alcohol until we ended up the ghost hunter's dirty old shack. Luigi was sleeping amongst a pile of empty bottles and at placards. The only object that resembled a ghost hunting weapon was a handcrafted pipe capable of producing nothing but a horrifying inhuman howl. Perhaps Luigi was indeed a fraud, but that alone is no proof that there is not something inexplicable haunting their poor residents of Silverton. Okay, that is done, apparently. The ghost hunter is indeed completed. For the birds, that is, I think it's quite close. Well, not that close. Silence is golden. Led Zeppelin, Tale of Empty House, Treasure Island. Let's do the For the Birds. And pin. So that was the way in Miner's End. A strange monument. An empty cage near the mines caught my attention. Okay. So it was here. Yep. I might as well save. Funny thing, when it crashes one time, then you get a little nervous it will do it again, especially when you quit traveling. I think it's that way. Yes. What can I say? I'm easily humored. Now. Oh. So, what do we have here?
It used to contain a silver statue of a miner's canary. They were often used by miners to detect fire damp.
Are them? Is that the same as basically, or because I don't know what that means. But I think they also used it for surveying if there was a problem with air. So basically, the bird died first, and it would show that the air was running out. If I remember correctly, I might be mistaken. Anyways.
For the ones who gave their lives in the silver mines, for the safety and prosperity of Miners' End, 1830.
Okay. So somebody stole it. What am I... Okay, I need to find... I can't move this away from the cage. Okay. That was so easy to see.
The lattice work was bent a long time ago. A gloomy picture.
But quite poetic. A symbol of safety and prosperity has vanished from Miners' End, and now only the cage is left to remind the residents of their past glory.
The canary was stolen a long time ago. There's no hope in finding it now, but perhaps someone might know at least something about it. We should ask the people around here.
Well, of course. Okay. Whoa, stop stuttering. I don't know why I have this problem with these Sherlock Holmes games, that sometimes they get a little bit stuttery. Can I talk to you? What do I need to... have it believer unfriendly. Let's try... this. Yes. But he's not willing to talk with me. We have a case book, nothing new. John's diary, nothing new. Can I talk to you? I could. I probably need to change clothing. No! Come on. Well, this is awkward. Can I interact with you at all? I had it. I had it, but now I don't. Well. Nope. What about you? Yes, sympathy.
Could you help me?
Yes, friend. I know something about this business.
Local told us the story of the silver cannery of Miners' End. There were times when Miners' End was as prosperous, but that era came to an end when the silver mines were exhausted. Soon afterwards, investors lost interest in mining on Cordona, which caused severe unemployment and poverty on the island. From a symbol of safety and prosperity, the cannery turned into a reminder of loss. People say that the Flowers of Good public house is the seat of local legend telling. It's near the alley at the northern part of Lestrade Road. The sheriff used clues and deduction to determine who can answer his questions. Okay, nothing new. So, place on map. Lestrade Road. Where did there's a Lestrade Road. Flowers of Good public house is the seat of local legend, telling it's near alley at the northern part of the Lestrade Road. So this is Lestrade Road. How far it goes? Or do I already have it? Yeah, I think it's this. Come on. Yeah, there it is. So I just walked there. Fortunately, it's already on my map. How far we are? Let's go straight forward and left and right. It should be here.
My grandma, God bless her, had known the man who was doomed us all.
What happened to the cannery and why? Nope. Nope. Okay. Let's try that again.
My grandma, God bless her, had known the man who was doomed us all.
Nope. Bloody hell. Minus morning. At the Flowers of Good public house, we heard about a man who lost his family after an accident near the mines. He couldn't accept what happened to his loved ones, so he, drowning in grief, stole the cannery, cast it into the sea, and left the island. Some say that he committed suicide shortly afterwards. Safety and prosperity have both been strangers to Miner's End ever
The
since.
thief died in grief. A poetic story for such an unpoetic place.
Safety is gone, and tears take the rest.
For the birds, yeah. So we are done with that. These truly are quite short. Not a problem in that. It's interesting to, well, basically it teaches us about the Cordona. City Hall, I will leave that. We probably want to do the lead Zeppelin next. So what do I want to do now? Vandalized sign plate. The terror below a ship gala. Sir William Sinclair made militaristic miracle. Where was the... Okay, so where this was... Where was it, I mean? Regretfully certain people... Old City Market and marched towards the airship yelling anti-British mottos. I'm guessing I should go to the Old City Market. Where was it? I think it's this. Again, this is annoying because you can't really check the market name when you are inserting the pinned stuff, but I'm guessing that's the Old City Market. So where can I put it down? This, come on, here we go. Let's, yeah, Old City Market, definitely. So that's where we go next. Actually, I jumped there. I'll take a quick break, get something to drink, and then we continue with this. So wait, what? I never doubted that Sherry would get what we needed from those gossipers. He's truly got quite the knack for it. The Silver Canary, symbol of the safety in Miner's End. Those were the times of the Silver Rush, and Miner's End was a prospering place, attracting more and more people. It all ended when the silver mines were eventually exhausted. Soon investors lost interest in Cordona, which caused severe unemployment and poverty to the island. The Earth's resources aren't limitless, but what's interesting is that the silver crisis mysteriously coincided with the silver cano's disappearance. From being symbol of safety and prosperity, it has become symbol of loss. People say that in wine lies the truth, but for Miner's End, the truth lies in pubs slightly drunk. From the regulars of the Flowers of Good pub, we heard the story of a man who lost his family after an accident near the mines. He failed to accept that what had happened to his loved ones, and, warned by an own grief, he stole the canary, cast it into the sea, and left the island. Some say that they committed suicide shortly afterwards. Safety and prosperity have departed Miner's End since then. Prosperity have departed Miner's End since then, seemingly not to return. Okay. So that is that. So I'll take a quick break and I'll be right back. Okay. What are the Oh, Deluso. Oh, right. Okay. I just realized when I was doing this for the birds that it occurred to me that the wait a minute. As I was saying, it occurred to me that I'll probably. It seems like those little quests and cases can be accessed by walking around and finding either a place or hearing a person. So where's my late Zeppelin? I need to pin that. So either I walk around these areas hoping to find something, or I probably check from the some walkthrough maybe. I haven't decided yet because I try to do everything I can.
Help me, please.
No, it's the first time I've heard it.
What about
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Interesting. But I've never heard of it.
You obviously haven't thought this all through. Or are you just annoying these people on purpose?
Shut up, John.
Oh, we're going to blow it out of the sky. I saw the stuff in the yard. That should teach the Brits to behave better.
Okay. Eavesdrop on whether the radicals are planning the... Where? Sorry, okay. Nope. Okay, let's try that again.
Oh, we...
Nope. Nope. People at the old city market talk about a group of Ottomans who plan to take down the airship using some kind of artillery. The radicals are going to set their attack plan in motion during a secret meeting in the yard at the corner of Sesame Street and Scarlet Street in the old city. The entrance to the yard is behind an archway with a horse above it. Sesame Street and Scarlet Street. Sesame Street and Scarlet Street. This is Scarlet Street. This is Sesame Street. I could try to run there. So when I'm closer, well, we continue there. Well, I could use the quick travel there. What is this area? That intrigues me. It seems like a park. I'll go check that also. Because that would be interesting, maybe. So it would be right over here. I don't think I have been there. might as well change the clothing again. That's interesting. Is that... That's
I remember the monument. Cordona's legendary pirate, the Robin Hood of the place. Do you recall it, John?
I do. I wonder if... What is that?
Wait, what?
Karim of the Silver Hand, the pirate with a golden heart. I told you I remembered him.
Hey, Sherlock, I'm up here. Guess what I found? A riddle, and it's about a treasure. Listen to this.
What? John, you've surpassed yourself.
On the top of the monument was carved the first in chain of riddles, which, as John suggested, lead to the Silver Hand's lost treasure. The first riddle, a hand with the treasure, a quest so sweet, stand where Erebus Road and Crooked Street meet. A few steps toward the mosque, left at the first stairs, and find the courtyard wishing well shares.
Come on, Sherry. This is just like the old days. Sherlock and John on a pirate's treasure adventure.
See, this is what I mean. You need to find these little things to activate some of the cases. So I'll probably miss quite a lot of those, unless I actually walk every street through. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's continue with the article on Riot, the airship gala. After that, we could probably try our hand with them. Treasure hunt, because there should be at least some kind of reward with that. Wait, do I have... Oh, okay, but nope. Scarlet Street and Sesame Street. The entrance to the yard is behind an archway with a horse above it. I've been here, I think. Ah. That's an archway at least. But yeah. Do I see any horses? No. No. Where's a horse when you need one? Stop stuttering so much. I think I'm in the wrong place at the moment. It should be in corner. Or did I? Sesame Street. Wait. Scarlet Street. Oh. Oh. Did I came to the wrong place? Yes. I somehow thought it would be here. Sorry about that. It should be somewhere over here, actually. Live and learn. Well, there's a golden eel again. So we've been here. Now I need to find a horse. Not a real horse. I saw a real horse over there. Oh, okay. I think we found it. Yeah, it's easier when you're on the right place. Please move, thank you. Sorry about that.
Are you sure you want to go in there? Breaking into the secret meeting of those radicals? I don't see how we could pull off any peaceful negotiations.
For radical meetings, John, we have some radical means of negotiation.
You have. Not we. Remember? Be careful out there.
Oh, it's going to be a shootout again. I at least tried once. At At least once. If I fail, then I skip.
I'm coming.
Down
Too
you
simple.
go. Alright. Come on. I want to be beaten. Nope. So, 2 down.
No more.
The snuff's
10 to
ready.
go. Okay, there's 1. Too far. Oh, right, he... Oh. Oh, I need to reload. Reload, please. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Time to knock this guy out.
Okay, that worked.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Ah! Come on. Okay. Oh!
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take a rest, my friend.
Down you go.
No more crime for you and...
The snuff's ready.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm gonna. Not that
Oh.
easy.
Nope.
We can overcome.
Whoops. Sorry.
Just die.
Hey,
I don't care at the moment.
Don't cry, you'll live.
Oh.
he's all yours now. Go for it.
And where's your pouch? I probably should use more.
I'm gonna
Oh.
hurt you.
You turn too fast. That's unfair, mate.
Don't bother moving.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Okay, we're down.
Maybe that was too radical, Sherlock? After all, those people were only seeking justice.
By shooting other people in the face. They found their justice.
So the justice is you shooting them in the face. This whole story began with a death. I don't see how more death can be a better way to end it.
Now, let's check the yard. I want to learn how they were planning to shoot down the airship.
We'd better make it quick. The noise you've caused here may bring us more trouble.
Okay. Not as smoothly as I had hoped, and at least we're done. I'm not the most well-behaved man. But murder? No, that's crossing the line. It's just not right. Okay. So we
The
have a map.
radicals plan to load the missile battery onto boats and sail close to the airship.
The plan depicts the positioning of the airship over the Cordona shoreline and the ways in which it might be approached by sea from Old City.
So they hope to bring down the airship by using these missiles.
How did a small group of conspirators manage to smuggle artillery to Cordona? How many people are on board that airship? You've just saved their lives, Sherry. Not to mention the people below, should it have crashed on the island. We should call the police to sort this all out.
No need. Somebody from the neighborhood already called them once the shooting began. Besides, I'm not in the mood to explain why I'm standing here, armed, in this grim situation. We did all we had to do. Let the police do the rest.
Okay. So, I guess that's it then. I'm guessing. Yes, case completed. Yes, history, Led Zeppelin. The evidence there indicated that the radicals were intending to use boats and military-grade missiles, albeit for rather outdated kind, to bring their ship down. By the end of the day, Sherlock saved countless lives, but I still can't help feeling that we were the invaders in this story. Well, yeah, that is a problematic case, but the end result would have been bloody anyways. So, Silence is Golden, well, City Hall, The Hand-Me-Down. So, the monument of the local pirate legend carrying the silver hand rises at the crossing of Arnaud Street and Scarlet Street, yes. Stand where Eurus Road and Crook Street meet. Eurus Road and Crook Street. Bazaar, Eurus. Eagle. Eurus and Crook Street meet. Eurus Road, I mean. So it should be here. Where could I jump from? Well, to be honest, I can't. So I need to run there. Well, we might as well run there and see the sights. Yes, sorry. Is the gamma a little higher than usual, or am I... maybe a tad lower? I don't know. How far we are? We are not that far away. So we could run from here, then try to get on the left. So left. Ah, so we at least managed to find a quick travel spot, which we didn't have. So that's good. So where do we need to actually look? So what does the... Okay. Stand where Eurus Road and Crook Street meet. Few steps towards the mosque. Left at the first stairs. Find the courtyard wishing well. Left at the first stairs. You mean... what the hell? Here? Ah. Okay. I think we found something. If I could just... Ah. So what do we have now? The second riddle. You're almost there. Let's not postpone. You're seeking an ark that made of stone. Head east from the old ruins, my friend. It guards the ancient until the end.
So the treasure is real, but tell me, John, how did you even guess there would be something on top of the monument?
Didn't I ever tell you about my psychic abilities? I should have. I even know where we ought to go next.
So where should we go?
What else do you need on a hot day like this?
Okay, so we need to go east from the old ruins. Now I need to find old ruins then. And where they would be. Ah. The problem is, do I have it on the map? What? Emperor's Aqueduct. Gimbel's Atelier. So these would probably be the marks of the old ruins. Do I have that kind of a marker in here? Fisherman Island? No. I only have this, and this is an Emperor's Aqueduct. I could go and check this area. Old ruins. I'll run towards here and see if I can find something. I did came from here, I think. Wait. Yes, I'm going in the right way. It would make sense the old ruins should be somewhere here. Although I could be totally wrong, obviously. Let's see. Do we get anything? Because I would think that the old ruins would seem like the aqueduct marker. But obviously I would need to find the old ruins. Or then I'm missing some... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Or then I'm missing something completely obvious. Well, these look a little bit ruins.
Salty breeze, old ruins, dusty roads. Do you recall clambering over these walls as a child?
Perhaps. Did we find something at the top?
Oh. Okay. At least we found something. I'm still unsure if these are the old ruins what was mentioned. They are at least old ruins. There could be another over there. A bandit lair? Yeah, I don't really care about those. It's good to know. Of course, I could ask about the old ruins. So there's the hand. What does the... Okay, so these walls hold us a lot of secrets, including one of ours. John gave me a hint how to recall what happened here, and I can't ignore it. The memory began in Old City when we walked along Bazaar Road past the... Okay, we are not going to do that yet. Ark that's made of stone. Head east from the old ruins, my friend. It guards the ancient until the end. Don't know. That could be the old thing. So we need to find some kind of arc. Maybe I'm completely in the wrong place. Huh. Anything I could see on a map? Is there anything that could point towards ruins? I don't think it's this one. This could be ruins. Maybe. I could go and check. If this is a wild goose chase, then I'll probably check on the walkthrough. But I'll try that first. It seems like a ruins, I don't know. And John said he knows about it. News. So we are going right down here. So if that is something that doesn't really work with this stuff, then I'll probably check on the walkthrough. Because I'm a little at loss. Am I going the right way? Yeah, I think I am. Well, at least we can get some fine scenery. I haven't been here. Well, okay, something is shaking. Oh. Arch. Well, this is at least an arch. We have a boat here. Okay, I'll probably need to come back here because my controller started to shake. So it definitely was a name as an old ruins. And it was east from here. Okay, so yeah, that's the arch. Okay. So these were definitely the old ruins. Dude, we had an old ruins quick travel point. I want to go check the ruins before we continue. Yeah, the shaking of the controller at least help a little bit. Interesting. I definitely want to check around before we Ooh. Nice. Can I get that head to my manor? It would look really nice on the next to the stairs or front of the stairs, welcoming my visitors. Lovely moon. Anyways, let's go back to the arch because yeah, that was a. I thought we were looking for a man-made arch, but to be honest, that would make more sense to find a natural. After all, we are talking about pirate. You are a pirate. Now, we need to... Oh! We need to find something. It was shaking around this side. Oh, John is there, so I'm guessing he is close where we need to go. And I think it is this one. Movable. The last riddle. With old ruins beneath its feet, find a tree that treasures keep. You may find only one small detail, but that doesn't mean that you have failed. With old ruins beneath its feet.
I always admire the way you notice such details.
In such moments, I often recall Mother's voice teaching us of the importance of the smaller details. The world hangs on small hinges, John.
Even the most chaotic miracle becomes sequential when you take a closer look. I remember.
So what does it say actually? With old ruins beneath its feet, find a tree that treasures keep. Is it again suggesting the old ruins, and beneath its feet it would mean something above it? Okay. Maybe. Because old ruins beneath its feet. So tree near the old ruins. Do I want to go up here then? Maybe here? We have trees around here. Yeah, I think we found it. But that was easier than I thought. Nice.
Wait, what? Is this Mother's magnifying glass? How did it end up here? What happened?
Sherry, you really need to learn to let miracles happen. The whole world is one big, unresolved, chaotic miracle.
But they will become sequential if you take a closer look. I do remember what Mother told us, but that explains nothing.
Just let things happen, all right? Besides, this little miracle will look perfect in our manor, don't you think?
Well, oh, okay. Memories, a silver hand treasure. In total, there were 3 riddles. We cracked them one by one. Each led to us another stash around the island. To our bewilderment, in the end, instead of treasure, we found a magnifying glass that once belonged to Sherry's mother. Neither he nor I can recall how it got here, which in a way makes it more special. But when Sherry looked at me through that glass, I was suddenly struck by terror. For a brief moment, it felt as if I weren't there at all, his gaze passing through me and over the horizon. Okay. Okay, cool. So we've done that. That was interesting. Little different treasure. At least we got something out of it. We have money. So Mad Rogue. I think we do that now. Again, I doubt I will do this because it seems more like just go collect stuff. But we will see. I'll probably do the Mad Rogue and Silence the Golden Nut. Well, we will see how it goes if I do them both in this episode, maybe. If that is the case, then next episode we continue main case, but if not, then I'll do what is left. Yeah, it's been. Do what is left to do. Anyways, I digress. Let's jump here. I think this is the right way. Again, I probably need to resort to the walkthrough and check the cases and whatnot that may not pop up unless you're in the right place at the right time. Well, at least in the right place, probably at the right time, but you know what I mean. But we will see. We've been lucky to find few of those, but I have no idea how many there actually are. Alright, I have the micro stuff also. Probably do those before we start continuing with the main story. But anyways, let's see what we can see. Didn't I pin them? Nope, wrong case. This memory began an old city when we walked on Bazaar Road, past the ruins of Fortress Holy Spirit, back when we...
Ah, it was an old skull. What a lucky find for a pair of young adventurers.
It was easier to climb these walls back then. Not merely because we're older, but because the ruins are too. Of course. You said we needed to bury him. Do you remember where?
Oh, one would think burying a human skull would stick in the mind, but somehow... no.
Are we going to... Well, we probably are going to...
An old man was standing here as we passed.
Oh yes, I remember his face as we flew by with a skull in our hands.
He looked as shocked as our grisly companion.
I bet he did. So we are... Yeah, I can't see where we went.
Nothing ever bothers an old Ottoman backgammon player.
Apparently no. There we were. Just... Oh!
This wasn't the right place for a funeral. We were looking for somewhere more appropriate.
Funny, nowadays you love putting men behind bars.
You're a fellow of infinite jest, aren't you?
Well, at least he tries. So we moved forward, obviously.
The water level was higher back then.
I remember swimming through this mire while trying not to breathe in the horrible odour.
Right. Where did we go? I'm feeling a little bit... Yep. So did we bury it here?
This is where we buried it. It seems that with time, our friend has emerged once more.
Okay. What? Oh.
The skull is ancient. Its likeliest owner was one of the Knights Hospitaller who died during the siege of the fortress. I remember now, you said this skull was my father's.
A child's imagination is a powerful tool. You needed this. A burial process of your own. A ritual so you could begin to grieve.
Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. I felt so alone back then, John. Uncertain. Abandoned by my father.
I know.
The skull wasn't his, though it may as well have been. In the earth, all of us look alike. But putting this man to rest, it did help.
I'm glad, Sherry.
I find myself rather tempted to keep it. If not for sentimental value, then it's archaeological merit.
Okay. Memories. Supposed skull of Sherlock Holmes. We found a human skull. It was most likely the skull of a Knight Hospitaller that died during the siege of Fortress of Holy Spirit. But I invented the story that it was actually the skull of Sherlock's father, Sherlock Holmes. Mr. Holmes died when Sherlock was 6, and 3 years later he still hadn't fully processed his father's passing. This small fiction offered my brother Sherry a ritual, to let go of his sorrow. We buried the skull beneath the old city walls. I think it helped. Okay. I think it helped. Oh, I think it helped, yes. So that was the mad rogue. Now, silence is golden is something I could do. Yeah, we have these cases also, which is probably continue next. But before that, we obviously are going to do the silence is golden. Did I just unpin it? Now I pin it. So we go there. It might... I don't know if I want to start this. But anyways, I digress. Let's first start with this. So it was in the... in here. We might as well jump. So get it done. Now. Did I lose it? It was pinned. Okay. Now I need to find a right place.
Guests of Cordona, the treasures await you.
I
Collect
know.
them all and return for more.
Oh, I think I found where we need to be.
A large crowd gathered.
Okay. So what did we do? Oh, or what did we witness?
I was here, young and passionate about the truth. Mycroft stood close to me. He was keen on my attending every official event, that I might prepare myself for the Crown service.
Lucky for you, that was the last time he did it.
Okay. So what was happening?
There was a stage here, a tribune.
And
The governor gave his speech there. He was lying through his teeth and nobody noticed, or didn't want to, but I noticed. I was extremely irritated by his lies. I shouted my opinions very loudly for everyone to hear.
The crowd went wild.
I bet they did. So what happened next? Okay. So Mycroft took me away.
Mycroft was angry but calm. He led me away from the stage.
And gave me a talking, apparently.
He told me that I should keep my mouth shut, and that silence is golden. I couldn't stand for that.
Behold, Sherlock Holmes's famous adherence to justice was born here.
I'm fine.
Okay. Memories. Silence is golden. The man stood before a large crowd, clenched fist, fake smiles, gently manipulating his audience with a smooth and soulless speech. When the governor finished, the square fell silent for a moment. Crowd about to burst into applause, and in that moment, Sherry interjected to point out all the falsities. As the young man spoke, nobody made a sound. The governor stood there frowning, his sweat glistering in the sun. When Sherlock finished, there were only a few weak claps and the man's awkward gratitudes. Yet the seed of destruction had been planted, and the governor's career would soon be over. Mycroft was furious. He dragged Sherlock away from the square and lectured him that not every truth should be spoken. Silence is golden, he said. But isn't silencing the truth the same as lying? I believe so, as does Sherlock. I can only hope that continues. Okay. We might start at least one of the case. Let's start with the note from the agent. I'll make a save also. Because I would like to see how long these Mycroft cases are. Where was I? Mycroft agents got into the accident at the intersection of Baskerville Street and Reed Street in northwestern Scaladio. Baskerville Street. Intersection Baskerville. So it's right over here. Do I want to jump there actually? I do. Yes. Should be easy to find that place. So it's right over here and left. Not Moriarty, Mycroft. I don't know why I'm always... Oh. Well, that did end up badly for somebody. Unfortunately.
Sir, what do you think you're doing?
Officer.
Oh, I know you. You're the clever chap that cracked that Palazzo del Luzzo case, eh?
Well, presuming there has not been another murder since, then yes, it is I. I'm here to investigate the accident. You don't mind if I examine the scene?
You're too late. Case closed. It was no accident. The rickshaw driver deliberately ran that poor woman over, and I'm taking him into custody.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then my examination of the scene can hardly interfere with your brilliant work, Officer...
Huxley. Well, if you want to play detective, go ahead. but stay away from my business, all right?
Alright. What can I learn?
The dress looks generally neat and tidy. Any staining must have been from the accident.
That would be a safe assumption. Do we have anything in the pocket?
It takes two to tango. I'll find a use for it.
I hope we do. Wait.
An impact to the back of the head caused severe damage. Her death was probably instant.
What can
Cordona's true horror revealed. Behold, the killer curb.
What is this?
This pendant looks like it may contain something. Let's see.
A blank note.
Cleaning the houses of rich men by day and preserving England's secrets by night.
My friend, you know you're in trouble, right? But all this can go away for a small fee.
Oh, damn crooked cops. Come on, concentrate, so we can stop him before he arrests the driver.
Okay. I found an okay. Blind to the truth and sometimes intentional, so it was easy for the officer to blackmail the rickshaw driver by accusing him of murder. John can't stand such injustice, so he suggested we intervene. Okay. In. Okay. Here we go.
From the position of the body, we can deduce that Mycroft's agent walked down the street from the east.
From the east.
The rickshaw's tracks show that the vehicle was coming from the south.
Okay. Oh, right. So if he came from there, that's basically...
The rickshaw gained speed down the slope of the road and was going too fast to stop for a pedestrian.
But still, would she hit her head over there?
But, Sherry, it would be impossible to miss a rickshaw speeding downhill. It was as fast as a racehorse.
Unless something distracts you.
What would it be then? Up.
Always take care when walking. A sudden loud noise caught the agent's attention and they stepped into the road without looking. It was all an accident. John, no one is immune to chance. Such synchrony of events would be very difficult to contrive artificially.
No such thing as coincidence. I bet there's a killer mastermind behind this. Or a team of killers. Oh, a secret global rickshaw conspiracy.
The what now? So we probably need to talk about that. I'll make a save here.
Upon examination of the scene, I have concluded that the smash of the flower pot distracted the woman. She didn't notice the oncoming rickshaw. After stepping into its path, she was knocked to the ground and died after hitting her head on the curb. It was most likely an accident.
Oh, that's just your imagination. The facts say otherwise.
Well, fact, there are no wheel tracks on the woman's body, so the rickshaw could not have run over her. Fact, you are blackmailing an innocent man.
Didn't I tell you to stay out of my business? You're lucky there's a crowd.
So the man can go free. Oh, thank you, Officer Huxley, for your excellent decision.
All right. The rickshaw puller can leave, but he better not show his face again. That goes twice for you, Mr. White Knight. Goodbye, sir.
I'm glad you didn't leave that poor chap alone.
The truth must be told, even if it damns as often as it saves. Today it spared a driver and denounced an officer. Tomorrow, perhaps the opposite.
Thank you, sir. This policeman would have never let me go if you hadn't intervened.
Okay. So now we have the note, which we obviously do the chemical analysis because obviously it's using the ink that cannot be seen with the blind eye. Anyways, so 3 and -4. What do we have here? Well, at least... Wait, what does this do? Does this change numbers? So let's say, let's put the 3 in here and connect with that. Am I understanding correctly that this changes? Let's say this would go... Come on. Yes. It changes the markings. Okay. Nope. I don't need to reset. I just need to delete this. -4. Let's take that. And I don't know if I need this, but let's see. To be honest, that would change to -4. Say, yeah, that's it. We don't need that. Hidden with invisible ink, the note contains address Northwestern Scalario, the crossing of Reichenbach Road and Hudsonetti Street. Look for the bird sign. Right. Place on a pin and place on map. Northwestern Scalario, Reichenbach Road and Hudsonetti Street. Okay, we have Hudsonetti and so it's a crossing, so it's somewhere here. So I just run there, I think. If I can go there. So I hope we can find the door. Should I? Yes, a little bit here. Now a bird sign. Wait, is this something I can enter? Nope. So this is the crossroad. Am I correct? Look for the bird sign.
We have a large assortment and pleasant prices.
Oh, okay. I want to check that first.
The finest clothes for the finest citizens.
Thank you. So what are the new ones? Do I... Okay. I don't think we need these at the moment. Great big bushy beard. Do I want to have any of these? Sideburns? No. I don't think so. Okay, that's nice. That is nice too. That would... Right. Okay. Is the armor part just for the show, or do they actually do something? I don't know. Okay.
Of course. Think it over. Take your time.
Yes, take your time.
We
So
have a large assortment and pleasant prices.
I bet you do, but I'm trying to find a bird. Is it as easy to find as the horse? Or not? I don't know. Sorry? Hopefully I'm again in the right place. It wouldn't be the first time that I'm on the wrong place. Wait a minute. Oh, we got shoes. Shoe repair and tailoring. Hidden northwestern Scalaria, the crossing of Reichenbach Road and Hudsonette Street. Look for the bird sign. Bird sign.
Look who's here.
Am I going too far? No. I hear the bird. Or is it right over here? No, that's a sign, but... Oh. Where's the bird then? I'm guessing... Is it supposed to be there? I guess it should be there then. Oh no. Oh? No? Okay. So obviously it's number 2. Now it seems quite dark. It's always either too... Well, it's dark apparently.
One bed, one table, and one horrible scent of decay which someone tried to cover with perfume. A typical safe house for Mycroft spies.
We have things to uncover.
Fake passports. I guess nothing is a crime if you're working for the Crown.
Well, no.
I've always wanted to try something new.
Okay, we got a mustache. Nice. What else?
Reminds me of the mess in your room, John.
What else? We have something in here. A gun.
I must say, perfectly maintained. She took good care of it.
Well, you have to
have
to maintain your gun.
A brand new model.
Good. Ah, is that poison or alcohol?
Being a secret agent isn't easy.
Alcohol then.
The documents may have been stowed in here, but they're gone now.
Right, and is that it? Nope. Yes, is there something else? Nope, that we already checked. Wait a minute. Did I? So I'm missing something. Ah.
Whoever broke in clearly does not appreciate lockpicks.
Okay. So he came from the window. Through the window, I mean.
The wax is still warm.
Not long ago, I guess. Come on. Nope.
Primitive, but efficient at breaking windows.
Yeah. Well, if it works, then why not?
A brute force intrusion rather than a stealthy sneak-in. Sloppy work. Unprofessional. Someone was in a hurry. Mycroft's documents were stolen. The thief entered through the broken window not long ago.
What are we waiting for? Let's search the backyard and track him down.
Sounds like a plan, I would say. So let's go and pin this. And chase the bloody bastard. Did I have everything from here? I think I had. So I'm guessing that that would be the bird. Maybe. Unless I'm totally missing something very obvious. But anyways, we found it. So it should be right behind here. Good.
They were in such a hurry that they cut themselves.
Well, aren't we the lucky ones then? So we need to find the blood trail. Okay, here we go. Fresh.
They injured themselves pretty seriously.
Yep, there you are.
Look at the amount of blood. Does it mean they were waiting here for something?
The police patrol schedule sends officers along here regularly. Our thief wasn't waiting. They were hiding.
Too close, so probably trying to subdue the blood bleeding. Church of St. Augustine, good. Getting more landmarks, that's always a good thing.
The
Discarded,
blood
huh?
trail stops here. They must have finally bandaged the wound.
That would make sense. Ah. So he knocked down the apple seller.
The thief must be somewhere around here. I can almost smell him.
You think? So he probably went forward, because that would make more sense. I think we found it.
Piece of advice. Next time you try to steal from an agent of the United Kingdom, don't leave a trail of blood behind you. Try using a lockpick.
So it seems this is it. You found me. And now I have no choice. No choice at all. He told me to give you this letter.
So where are the documents, and who is he?
Huh. Piece of advice. When someone tells you to mind your own business, listen.
Okay. Little unexpected.
Oh, Sherry. What horror could he have been facing that suicide was the better option?
It's a grim augury indeed. There's something bigger brewing, John. We should inspect the poor man for any leads.
Indeed we should. Wait a minute. So let's go and see. These apparently are a little bit more bigger cases than what I have done so far. So next time I'll continue with the Mycroft cases. But let's see what we can find from him. Here we are. He has something on his hand.
A family insignia. Typical nobleman fashion.
Yes, can I open it?
Old and made of silver. Not expensive, but might be an heirloom.
Definitely. And
he managed to bandage the wound properly. A strange act of self-preservation for a man on his way to suicide.
Yeah, that is weird. Why he left to wait us there?
Expensive clothes. Pretty worn out, though.
Take a photo of this poor bugger. Better to give Mycroft something rather than nothing.
Okay, that is a good idea.
I suppose it may help in understanding the situation.
So what do we have here? At least... how long does it take for a... Oh, that's the skull to decay. It takes besides the point. What's the matter if it's Sherry saying goodbye? Even with the motherland at stake, Sherry still could not abide an injustice to the ordinary man. I'm glad we helped that driver. At least Mycroft has a lead. Thanks to the photograph we took of the dead thief, I'm glad Sherlock put the old quarrels aside for this one. Okay, good. And the bridge agent. We took the photo. Oh right, I took the photo of these so Mycroft agents could perhaps help clarify the situation. Mycroft agent in the square of front of City Hall. The man is afraid of fire. Apparently I should be able to see it on his face. Okay. So, square of City Hall. Let's go. Obviously, I'm gonna end this episode with this mission. Would the guy have burn marks? Swedish accountant. Dog lover, always nice to see that.
Treasure maps from the governor. Find 8 and come back for more.
Where would I be? Any one of you?
Contest for the guests of Cordona. Find hidden treasure.
Who are you? Ah, come on. Show me. And horses. No? I guess he need to be a lonely man. I think we found it.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
My dear fellow, you're talking to the right man.
The documents are gone, the thief is dead, and all I have is a note from this M. Maybe John was right and the rickshaw accident was a setup. If it was, the person behind it was played us all. And yet, rather than despair, I feel alive. There is something out there, someone like me. Moriarty, obviously. Someone at my level, and I gladly accept the challenge.
Alas, that's a terrible blow for the office. I'd better pass on your report immediately. Thank you for your service.
The accident doesn't look so accidental anymore, does it?
I think you might be right, John. I feel like someone is leading us by the nose. First time I've encountered such a devious mind.
Yeah, I suspect not the last.
No. So, next episode, well, I'll continue with this then. Again, I'll keep this away. This is obviously something we continue after we can buy some more furniture, which is probably after we... Well, when we continue the main story. Anything else? Okay. But anyways, yeah, on next episode, I start with the Clockwork Extortion. And we continue that. If nothing new come up, I'll then continue my story. I don't know what else to do. There's the Shattered Memory, there's the vocal story, whatever. Bird story. So yeah, that's the plan for now. And again, like I said, I probably need to at some point most likely check for the cases, so I don't miss anything at least interesting. Because yeah, it definitely seems like we can activate cases when walking in certain areas I'm guessing listening in people or finding something interesting around the area. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye.